Okay, so we're going to jump right into it today.
All right.
So you sent me this list from the top tens.
Mm.
In the top tens, I mean, it's a site where people can like rank stuff, all sorts of things. And this one really kind of caught my eye because it's not every day that you see best fire stations as a category.
Yeah, not your typical top 10
So
list.
we're diving into the best fire stations of Kent County.
Okay.
And I think what makes it even more interesting is that this list comes from users.
Uh-huh.
So it gives us like a peek into what locals think, what they value.
Definitely.
Right.
It's a great example of how like best can be subjective, right?
Yeah.
And tied to like personal experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
We might like assume best means, fastest response times or newest equipment or something.
Right, right.
But this list kind of suggests that there's a little more to it than that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And the list itself is like pretty diverse. We have stations, like the Betterton Volunteer Fire Co.,
Mm-hmm.
the Chestertown Fire Dep,
Mm.
and the Rock Hall Fire Dep. And a lot of which, just mentioned
Yeah.
by name. There are no real details.
Right.
Which kind of makes you wonder, like, what criteria that
Yeah.
people use.
What are they basing it on?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Though we've got, like, a whole bunch more. Cecilton Fire Dep, Centerville Fire Dep, Queens Rescue and Fire Squad, Aberdeen Fire,
Mm-hmm.
Crossways Fire, North Fire Co., South Fire Co.
Yeah, they're all great, we're sure.
They're all great, we're sure. But, the list doesn't tell us why.
Doesn't tell us why.
Yeah.
That lack of detail, I think, almost highlights how personal these rankings can be.
Yeah.
It's almost like saying, my fire station is the best just because.
Right.
Exactly. There's one entry
Yeah.
that gives us a little more to work with.
Yes. The Rock Hall Fire Department stands out
Yes.
because it's praised for having a very cozy lounge
Okay.
and nice people.
Interesting.
Now, that might seem like a small thing, but what do you think makes that detail so intriguing?
Well, it evokes a sense of community, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
It suggests that this fire station is like more than just a place for emergencies.
Yeah.
It's a gathering place.
Yeah.
A comfortable space where people feel welcome.
This is where I think we get to something deeper than just a list.
Yeah.
It makes me think about like the historical role
Hmm.
of firehouses as like community centers.
Yeah.
Back in the day, before social media and all that, these were like central points
Right.
where people naturally came together.
Absolutely. Think about the psychological impact of that. In a world that can feel increasingly isolated these days, fire stations can offer almost a tangible sense of belonging and connection.
Yeah.
They become symbols of safety and support, which goes, I think, beyond just putting out fires, right?
Yeah. And that nice people comment, it
Yeah.
just like really emphasizes the human element here.
Yeah.
It speaks to the trust that's built between firefighters
Right.
and the residents they serve.
Yeah.
It's not just professionals doing a job.
Mm-hmm.
It's like people looking out for each other.
Right. And that trust is, it's crucial, especially in smaller communities that rely heavily
Yeah.
on volunteer firefighters.
Yeah.
Think about the dedication it takes to be constantly on call,
Mhm.
ready to drop everything, risk your own well-being
Yeah.
for the sake of your neighbors.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a big commitment
It's a huge commitment.
that deserves to be acknowledged and celebrated.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
It makes me think about how we often take for granted like the social fabric
Yeah.
of our communities.
Totally.
We focus on efficiency, on metrics, on getting things done quickly.
Mm.
But sometimes best is about something more.
Yeah.
It's about that cozy lounge,
Right.
those friendly faces,
It's about the people.
that sense of shared purpose
Mm.
that makes a place feel like home.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So, we started with a simple best of list,
We did.
but we ended up, I think, exploring something much, much richer.
Yeah.
The vital role fire stations play in, building and sustaining strong communities.
I totally agree.
So what qualities would make your local fire station the best?
It's a good question.
We encourage you to think about that and, maybe even reach out and thank the folks who keep you safe.
Yeah.
Until next time.